How to be a great voiceover artist. No experience needed. Maybe you've always liked audiobooks or possibly character work in animation or video games and thought, hey, I'd like to be able to do that. Well, here's the good news. You absolutely can. Yes, you. You don't need years of acting school, although that does help, or a broadcasting degree, and you definitely don't need to live in LA or New York anymore. You can do it right from where you live. In today's world, as long as you've got a voice and a working internet connection, you can do this job from anywhere in the world. Once again, being a good voice actor is not about having a nice voice. It's about being able to connect with the listener. You have to treat your voice like an instrument. You have to also have some technical know-how. And then lastly, and most importantly, you have to treat it like a business. So in this video, I'm going to take you through the steps you need to know about how to get started as a voice actor, even if you have no experience. We're going to cover what voice acting actually is and what it isn't, the different types of work available, how to train your voice even if you haven't acted a day in your life, the basic equipment you need and how to go about it without overspending, how to set up a simple home studio, some performance tips to keep you sounding natural and real, and finally, how to go about landing paid work without any experience. So by the end, you're going to have a roadmap on how to become a voice actor and how to actually be good at it. So let's dive in. So when most people think of voice acting, they think of maybe the movie trailer guy. You know, the guy that's like, in a world. Well, there's a whole lot more to voice acting than that. Voice acting is really just telling a story or guiding someone through some steps or entertaining someone. Think about going through your day and how many times you hear a disembodied voice telling you something. Maybe it's commercials on TV or on the radio or on YouTube, audiobooks and podcasts, e-learning courses or training videos for companies, animation or video game characters, GPS apps or phone systems, even TikTok and Instagram reels. If you think about it, we are surrounded by voiceovers every single day. Have you ever gone to get gas and at the pump there's a screen there that tells you the local headlines or maybe the weather forecast? Someone actually got paid to do that, and you could too. Modern clients these days, they want voices that are real and natural and can connect to their listener. Now, why do you think that is? It's because clients trust authenticity. So if you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't sound like Morgan Freeman or Scarlett Johansson, that's totally fine. You don't have to anymore. Being a great voice actor isn't about imitating someone else. It's about finding your own unique voice and using that voice as your instrument to connect to the listener. Okay, now let's talk about the kind of voiceover work that's out there that you can actually get. So here are some of the main categories. The first up would be commercials. That's what most people think of when they hear voiceover, and that's commercials on TV or the radio or streaming platforms, maybe on YouTube or TikTok. Those commercials that tell you to buy this car or use this type of dishwasher detergent. Next up is narration, and that would be things like e-learning or company training videos or maybe documentaries. These are longer form reads that are less punchy and quick and are more about informing the listener. The next category is audiobooks. Right now, audiobooks are exploding thanks to platforms like Audible and Amazon and Spotify. Getting into audiobooks right now is a huge opportunity for voice actors. Next up is animation and video games. This is probably the most fun category in voiceover. This is giving characters their voice on your favorite animation series or your favorite video game series. This is where your acting chops really come into play. What about telephony or IVR systems? IVR stands for Interactive Voice Response, which is really just phone systems. Press 1 for sales, press 2 for support. Someone gets paid to record those. Each one of these categories, and by the way, those are just the top ones, there's plenty more than that. Each one of these requires a different skill set of acting. But here's the best part. There's no need to pick one of these niches right away. Let the market decide. I always advise people when they're first getting into voice acting is try everything out. See what sticks. See what you enjoy doing, because if you enjoy doing it, it's going to be a lot easier for you to do it. The bottom line is there's room for every kind of voice in voice acting. Young, old, male, female, and anybody else. If you've got a voice and you can make people believe what you're saying, you're in the club.
And now for something completely different.
If you've always wanted to get into voiceover, and especially recording audiobooks, then you don't want to miss our upcoming monthly Masterclass. This month, it's all about audiobooks with our special guest, top audiobook narrator Tom Parks. Tom has recorded over 800 titles, including the best-selling personal finance book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Tom will also be diving deep into how to grow and maintain your audiobook business, whether you're a beginner or you just want to make more money recording audiobooks. This live class is coming up on September 23, 2025 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Seats are limited to 100 attendees because we need to make sure that we answer all the questions that come up during the class. The class will also be recorded, so when you sign up, you'll always have that class that you can refer back to. If you can't make it to the live class, the replay is going to be available after the class, just not at the discounted rate. So if you want the lowest price and to be there live, click on the link in the description and pinned comment below. Oh, one last thing. Every month, I always do a drawing to win a free seat to the class, so when you enter, you're automatically entered into that drawing. See you there.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
All right, how do you actually train your voice to be professional? You don't need to be born with some sort of radio voice to do voice acting. You just need the 3 C's: control, clarity, and connection. Let's break it down into 3 parts. The first part is warm-ups and breath control. Just like athletes when they warm up before a big match or a big game, it's important for you to warm up your voice before diving right into your first job of the day. Now, you can either just hum, you can pull up your first script of the day and read it out loud just to warm up your vocal cords. I actually call my mom most mornings just to check on her, but that also helps me warm up my vocal cords before I jump into that first project of the day. Next up is clarity and diction. Now, I'm not saying you should over-enunciate every single word. In fact, that's what a lot of people think voice acting is when they first start reading scripts, is they try to be perfect. And perfect is the enemy. You want to be clear, but not stiff. Next up is acting without overacting. A lot of people, when they first sit down behind a microphone, when they first hit record, they switch gears into their acting voice, and everything becomes stiff and polished and different from how they normally act. Sure, it's acting, but it's very subtle. Remember, you don't have your facial expressions or you don't have big movements to get your point across. All you have is your voice. Here's how you can train your voice and get used to hearing your own voice. A lot of people, when they first hear their voice, they are taken aback and they're like, wow, I didn't know I sounded like that. Well, there's some biology there where the shape of the skull makes us sound differently to ourselves than other people, and that's normal, but it will get better as you do it. You'll get more and more used to hearing your own voice. For practice, record yourself every day and play it back and listen critically. Are there mouth clicks and mouth pops, extraneous breaths? Are you actually reading the copy off the script, or are you actually saying it? There's a difference between reading it and saying it. Grab a children's book and read it out loud, acting out each character. Are you able to separate characters and actually keep the attention of the child who's listening? Also, getting into a good coaching program, or maybe even one-on-one coaching, to give you some feedback so that you know where to course correct, because a lot of people find it very hard to self-direct. Remember, your voice is a muscle and an instrument. The more you use it with intention, the better and more confident you're going to be. Now let's talk about gear, and this is where a lot of people get stuck. The internet is full of people who are saying you have to buy a $2,000 microphone and build a completely soundproof booth to get started in VoiceOver, and nothing has been further from the truth. Voice acting is more about performance and clarity versus how nice your mic is. A good beginner microphone is going to probably run you anywhere from $100 to $200, and you can use that microphone well into your career. Next up, you're going to need some recording software, and that recording software is called a DAW, or Digital Audio Workspace, and it's basically a way to record your analog voice, turn it into a digital signal that goes into your computer. Okay, next up is your recording space, and your recording space is probably even more important than your actual microphone. A $2,000 microphone will still sound terrible in a terrible recording space. There are 2 things you need to worry about when it comes to your recording space: keeping outside sound out and inside noise dead. Remember, when it comes to inside noise, the deader the better. There are several ways you can go when you're building your first booth. The first way is what we call a blanket fort. It's where you buy PVC pipe, you create a frame, you get moving blankets or even comforters and things around your house to make a fort. And that goes a very long way into treating the space. Now, you still have to worry about outside noise coming in, but that does a really good job of deadening the inside noise. The next step is if you have a spare closet in your house. Maybe it's a walk-in closet, maybe it's got clothing in it or not. You can dedicate that closet to your recording space. Next up is buying a dedicated booth, like the one you see here. Just keep in mind, this is going to set you back several $1,000s, but it's not required to get started. The bottom line here is don't let the equipment or lack of equipment hold you back. Get some good entry-level equipment and get started, and then later you can reinvest into better equipment as you go. Okay, now let's talk about some performance tips. These tips are going to instantly help your reads and help you sound more professional. The first step is read like you're talking to a friend. So picture a face in your mind. Maybe it's your best friend or someone in your family. How would you talk to them? Next step is mark up your script. A lot of times scripts need to be changed a little bit, not the words themselves, but maybe you need to underline or bold or highlight certain parts of the script so that you can remember to emphasize this part or do something different on this other part. Next up is smile when you talk. If you've got a read that needs to be friendly and upbeat, when you smile, people can hear it. All right, this next one is avoid the DJ voice. And this is something that I've had to unlearn since when I started in radio back in '95. People don't want to hear a polished, professional, boomy radio sound. They want real and natural. So this is something, once again, that I had to really work hard to try to lose. The next tip is slow down. And I'm going to say it again, slow down. For years, I had a sign above my computer screen that said slow down. Because what ends up happening is as soon as you sit down behind a microphone and hit that record button, your adrenaline starts to pump. And when your adrenaline pumps, your heart goes faster and everything speeds up. Try to remember to slow down. Remember, clients aren't going to hire you just to read words on a page. You need to bring those words to life. So you've practiced and practiced and practiced and gotten some gear and built a decent recording place in your house. Now, how do you go out and actually find the work? Okay, there are three main paths when it comes to getting work in VO. The first is freelance platforms like Fiverr or Upwork. There you can kind of start working with scripts and clients and get a little bit of money going just to kind of build your confidence in your experience. Next up are pay-to-play sites, and these are casting sites where you pay a fee, either yearly or monthly, and you get access to audition opportunities. The third is direct marketing, and this is where you reach directly out to content creators, video editors, and other places who create video content that need voices. You introduce yourself, you submit your demos, and if they like it, they will add you to their roster and start hopefully sending you either jobs or auditions. Now I'd like to talk about mindset and the mindset that you have to have in this business. Being a voice actor isn't about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You are going to stumble and you're going to play your voice back and cringe. But just remember, the more you practice, the more you get good coaching and learn the ropes, the better and better you're going to be. Some voice actors audition dozens of times before landing their first job, and that's okay. The difference between the people who quit and the people who are successful in voice acting is persistence. Try to avoid the comparison game, and that's listening to other voice actors and thinking, wow, I'll never be as good as they are. They were beginners at one time as well. Go through the steps, learn from others, practice, 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 be persistent, and you will win. So there's your quick roadmap on how to become a great voice actor, even if you don't have any experience. There's lots of smaller steps in the process, but these are going to be your main steps to go ahead and start working your way towards becoming either a part-time or full-time voice actor. We covered what voice acting actually is, the kinds of equipment you need to get, how to find the work, the different kinds of work that are out there, and the mindset to become successful. So if you've ever thought about becoming a voice actor, what are you waiting for? You can really get started even today, even if you don't have a microphone yet. Download Audacity. It's free. Start recording yourself, even with your cheap mic on your computer. Start to play it back and get used to hearing your own voice. And remember, being great isn't about having the greatest voice in the world. It's about using your voice with confidence, clarity, and connection. Also, if you want to learn 7 reasons why right now is the best time to be a voice actor, then click right here.